Donald Trump is continuing his presidential campaign of attacking absolutely everyone and everyone, even if things don't make sense. Now, Iran is becoming a target of that as well. President Donald Trump recently claimed that Iran was not living up to the spirit of the nuclear deal that was signed in 2015 with then President Barack Obama. Now, he said this just 2 days after he said Iran was complying with the requirements that were laid out in the agreement. And Iran signed the agreement formally, titled the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action 2015, along with the United States and members of the United Nations Security Council. This was basically to avoid or a promise not to build any nuclear weapons in exchange for removal of economic sanctions and other sabotage efforts against the country. In other words, we don't want you to have nuclear weapons. That's it. Here we are. We're going to harm you until you agree not to. In other words, very much the same as that they did to the DPRK. However, the DPRK did not concede and continued to build nuclear weapons regardless. Now, Trump didn't give any actual details of what it is that Iran is supposedly doing that's violating the spirit of the agreement. In other words, he hasn't said what the problem is. He just says, oh, they're not following the spirit. What does that mean? Are they developing something that they agreed not to? Or what's going on here? Because, of course, Trump is probably completely bullshitting. And he's just looking for a reason to ramp up imperialist aggression while having run on the opposite idea. So I don't really take this with much of a grain of salt that Iran is doing something they're not supposed to be doing or violating the spirit of the agreement, which we can't even figure out what that's supposed to mean. All of this is really just an attempt to try to prevent Iran from having nuclear weapons, which would certainly be a great deterrent against invasion by the United States. Of course, we've all seen the map of where all the military bases were completely surrounding Iran and then claim that Iran is the aggressor kind of situation. Of course, Iran should develop nuclear weapons, at least one to stand as a deterrent against invasion by the United States. But I suspect that Iran will choose a much more diplomatic path and not do so in exchange for the lifting of sanctions against the country. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.